Corvettes in Carlisle is speeding your way August 24th through the 26th at the Carlisle, PA Fairgrounds. How's it going? I'm Mike Garland, and I have a very special guest here with me. It is retired Corvette plant manager and National Corvette Museum Hall of Famer, Will Cooksey. Will, how you doing, sir?
Oh, doing great, Michael. It's just like I'm coming out of hibernation here because I tell you, when we had the pandemic, I went underground and stayed there for some time, and I'm trying to get out and get back out among all the Corvette enthusiasts and do the best I can. I'm not the same person I used to be. Burnout king and doing a lot of things that I was doing, but at least I can kind of stay in the swing of things, going to events like Carlisle. And I was just thinking about this interview here, and I thought about what got me started going to Carlisle and going to Corvette events. And my whole mission here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, at this plant here, was to see if I could do with the organization here do better than the people before me, because I was still getting some people complaining about the Corvette and what they didn't like, and I couldn't understand, and nor did I understand why these issues were not addressed. So I basically used Carlisle as an extension of my job, me getting the knowledge to try to make certain that we were working on the right things in the plant, that the engineers were working on the right thing. And then, of course, being the overall manager as it was, you end up being right in the middle of a lot of people who are not taking responsibility, who are not accountable. What they have a tendency to do is point the fingers. If you say, well, I saw a customer when I was in Carlisle that had an issue. And so if you look at it with your production people, they might say, well, it didn't leave me like that. That wasn't the way it was there. So then if you talk to the engineers, you might get a story, well, we didn't engineer it that way. So it must have happened somewhere else. And so they put you in a do loop going around and around. So it got to the point that you end up being maybe the gorilla in the room, and you say, look, I've already spent time with the production people. I spent time with the engineers. I've spent time with people in the field who are buying the product. And in my opinion, I think the direction we ought to go in is, if you got a better idea, you ought to go in a new way, a new direction. Now, sometimes I found that we forgot and left the vendors out of the equation. We didn't think about that when we started talking about issues in the plant, because I used to tell people all the time that the plant management, they do not have the ability to muscle suppliers and tell them that what to add or you need to do more, because the supplier bought into a contract and they said that they would supply the Corvette with necessary quality parts. So when they don't do that, they oversell themselves to corporate, then who's going to suffer? The people who run the plant, who have to put the car together, who have to ship it out the door, and then have to walk among the people who buy it and either take the congratulatory thing or get harassed. And so basically you start looking at, man, I've got to extend myself out way beyond what a lot of people before me, let's say, were doing. And so you end up reaching out as far as you have to dig down on what the true root cause is of the issue. Because if you don't know what the root cause of the issue was, typically you could be working on the wrong thing. And I've seen cases where engineers or people in the plant would be working on something and the problem would go away. And they spent $50,000, let's say, on the project. And then it come right back. So they said, whoa, you guys didn't solve the problem if you spent that money and the problem came right back. It says that you did not get the true root cause. And so, that's kind of some of the motivation that I was happy to be involved with it, because I had an attitude about we can't fail. failure is not, it's failure is just not an option that we are interested in. And so I didn't take the job at Bowling Green to come here and fail. And you see, I'm the longest guy they ever had here. And there's been a lot of people say, well, I'd love to, have the kind of tenure at Corvette like you had. I told them, good luck. Because see, I had a lot of people helping. A lot of people helped me up at headquarters. And see, today, you might be dropped in there and you have to hit the ground running. And you haven't established what you can establish over time. That is with the workers, with the people buy the car. I mean, there's a lot of relationships that are here that can help you in doing the job that you have to do. So, it's the kind of thing that till the day I am no longer on Earth, I will be a Corvette enthusiast. I think that being here in Bowling Green is what helped get me that far. And I said, hey, why would I want to leave Bowling Green? Because a lot of people, they said, well, a lot of folks retired in jobs like yours, and they went to Florida, went somewhere else. I say, look, why would I want to do that unless I'm trying to, run away from somebody, maybe like in the witness protection program that I'm trying to go hide. Because if I went to Florida, that's about the way it would be, unless I'm going to move into some village down there that's where retired GM folks go. But it's a fun thing. I first started working with Chip Miller. First started working with him, and Bill. We'd all get together and go out and mix it up with the crowds and raising money, for charity and stuff like that. Those were some days, excellent days. Of course, Lance wasn't into that. He was actually doing other things at that time. But I know his dad would be real proud of him, what he's doing, and I think he's doing a fine job, really.
You're a rock star here at Carlisle. People love when you come to the shows. They love being able to meet you, to get your autograph, to hear you talk. And this year, 2023, it's the first time you've been at Corvettes at Carlisle since, I believe, 2019. Yep. You referenced the pandemic and that you sort of went underground. But what are you looking forward to the most in coming back this summer?
Well, what I hope to find, is that the jobs that we were responsible for, those of us at Corvette plant, that the people are still very happy with their purchase, very happy with the decisions that they made, and that the things that, that they worked hard for, they still love. And so it'll do me good to be able to sit down and talk to the folks like I used to do. And I try to answer any questions that I can when they come up. They don't have to be bashful about asking me a question, because I tell them what the truth is as far as I know. Now, if they want to go, if you can go out and find some different information, then that's a different story. But I tell them, based on whatever information I have, I'll give you an answer. And it may be different tomorrow, but it's only because new evidence shows up. We got new information. And I think the other thing is that a lot of people, GM let me autograph 505 vehicles. And, when I got ready to retire, and they didn't have to do that, but they really felt, I guess, that with what changes that I'd helped bring in, that I'd been a part of, starting up the various models. Because, I first got that on C4. I went from C4 to C5 to C6. And then we did some on C7. But you can see over all those generations, we kept working on any opportunities that showed up. So, you look back at all your work that you was a part of, and then you kind of see what the people are saying about the ownership. It can't be all about C8s, even though I know that, GM likes the idea of everybody buying C8s. I mean, that keeps the paychecks coming. But basically, how would you like to go to a car show and everything is C8? I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be the same kind of car show that you'd like to see. You'd like to see different generations. And that's what, I hope it's still there. I know it is. It's still there, but it just gives you opportunity to see it firsthand and see just what the latest thinking is. Because there's no way I'd want to go back in time and try to do the kind of work I've done. When I stepped out, I said, "Hey, young people, it's their turn now." And I could have worked longer, but if we all work longer, we're going to knock out people who might have great ideas. They may have some ideas better than the ones that you have. And, hey, I don't want to stand in the way of progress.
Celebrating 15 years of the Cooksey Corvette, what does that mean to you that your efforts, your work, your brand has had such a staying power within the Corvette community?
Well, it makes me feel very proud because who would have ever thought a guy from Fort Worth, Texas, of the upbringing that, I had. Matter of fact, how the old saying where people say, well, you started and you didn't have anything. And that's very true. Really, I owe everything that I've got to a lot of people as I was coming along and coming up the ranks. And when I got the Corvette, it even further accelerated because I ended up meeting a lot of great people and made a lot of lifetime friends. And I think that's what really has meant so much is that, I'm not somebody who likes to get out in big crowds all the time. But when I do, I feel like family with the whole group. And I enjoy talking to Corvette folks. And if I can help them, I still have people call me from time to time on advice. And, I said, hey, I can give you advice on the generations that I was associated with, but I have not gotten that deep into C8. I can't tell you much about it. I read the same thing you read, and well, which one do you like? And I said, well, I guess right now I got to say that I like the E-Ray. I'd like to spend some time testing it out, and maybe do a few burnouts. But I don't think anybody would have the guts to do what I did back in the day, though.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a quick second. I think it was 2007 here at Corvettes at Carlisle, the legendary Will Cooksey burnout. What do you remember about that day?
Well, I remember when I had talked to some guys about, I talked to Lance. Lance wanted to do his burnout contest. And, I told him, I said, I'd be glad to, do one and see if we can get a trend going. And of course, I never thought it would be where you run the tires off. Now, I never thought about that part. But, I told him, I said, if you have a good burnout, there's going to be some tires popping, some rubber flying. I mean, that's where it's going to be. And so my friends at headquarters, they provided that car. Tom Wallace was supposed to drive it, but Tom got held up Detroit in a meeting. And then he passed it on to me, and I told him, no problem. I got you covered. I said, I will do the burnout. And boy, I tell you, it was the rest of his history. Because when I did it, we pulled the quarter off because it damaged the quarter. And of course, it damaged a few other associated parts around there. But they took it off and went over to the auction and auctioned it off and then gave the money to charity. I think at that time, I think it got like $400 and something. And I said, well, that's really, getting lemonade out of a lemon. That's pretty good. Not that I would want to do that again, but I told anybody that was thinking burnouts in a run flat tire is tough. You need a softer rubber tire, and then after that, you can look at variations: red smoke, yellow smoke, whatever you want. Of course, we start thinking about a lot of different options. And, since I guess it's been going well, the whole contest. Yeah, and of course, I think Lance did it before. I don't know if Lance did it last time.
Well, so we actually haven't done a burnout contest in that manner for a few years at any of our
Yeah.
events, and we got away from it at Corvettes at Carlisle because of the value of the cars and the way that people kind of
Oh yeah.
appreciate these pieces of art. So, hey, you're always going to be an all-star here for what you did, and we look forward to having you back coming up this summer. And people are going to be able to meet you again, get the autographs, get the pictures. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what I look forward to. Getting into the autograph area there, sitting down with the rest of the guys and say hello to my friends that hadn't seen in a long time, and they already say, "Hey, we're gonna be looking for you at Carlisle." So I said, "Yeah, we'll see you there." And if you want me to autograph something, bring it, no problem. I never charge for autographs or anything else. I remember one time I went up in Colorado and I got an award up there, Leo Coco Award, and they asked me if I'd autograph cars, and donations would go to Leo Coco's charity, which I think it might have been diabetes. But anyway, we did it, and that's the only time that my signature was ever of value, because I went around and signed a whole bunch. I think they raised like $5,000-6,000 that day, and I said, "Well, that's good, that's great." But
Very cool. Very cool. We're looking forward to having you back. Can't wait to see you. Visit CarlisleEvents.com to learn more about the Cooksey anniversary display. If you've got a Cooksey Corvette, you can register for the fun field, get your discounted spectator admission tickets online. Still time to register for the fun field as well. In fact, our pre-registration deadline for the fun field, if you want to save that 10%, that's coming up on, I believe, July 10th. So yes, that's the date, July 10th. CarlisleEvents.com. Mr. Cooksey, thank you so much for your time.